Alright then, what is going on guys and girls? Welcome back to the GolfMagic channel. I'm Alex, the video and equipment editor here at GolfMagic, and today you join me for a What's in the Bag video. First of all, if you guys are new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below to keep up to date with all our equipment news, challenges, instructional pieces and what's in the bags like this one. Now today in our What's in the Bag series, we're going to take a deep dive into Rory McIlroy's golf bag. I'm sure you are familiar as to who Rory McIlroy is, one of the most famous golfers on the planet, and he is a TaylorMade staff professional. Previously he was Nike, Titleist, but right now he is heavy on TaylorMade and to right. What I'm going to do today is just talk about what's currently in his bag, how it compares to previous years, and what I think could be in store for Rory this year. Let's get right into Rory McIlroy's What's in the Bag. So this year McIlroy has the TaylorMade Sim 2 driver. Now I'm sure you are familiar with this. He did originally have the TaylorMade Sim, but now he's got the Sim 2 with the forged aluminium backring with a little bit more forgiveness. You may be thinking, well that's obvious Alex, why are you saying this? There's only the Sim 2, the Sim 2 Max and the Sim 2 Max D. Well this year the Sim 2 Max is actually more for everyone, not just for someone who needs a bit more forgiveness. So I wouldn't have actually been that surprised if Rory did bag this, and again, if you're thinking that I'm absolutely off my head, there are a few TaylorMade professionals that do have this in the bag, most notably Tommy Fleetwood. But we'll get onto that in another video. His driver he has is obviously the Sim 2, which is 10.5 and set down to 8.5, so pretty low loft. He originally did have a 9-degree driver in the TaylorMade Sim, so this year he's gone for a little less loft, and the main difference as well is the shaft. So this year McIlroy has gone for a Fujikura Ventus black shaft in comparison to his Mitsubishi Kura cage shaft in last year. Why has this changed? I'm sure there's a lot of reasons, and to be honest, I can't imagine they're too far apart, but I think he's changed because there's been a lot of rumours around that McIlroy is increasing his swing speed and overall getting a little bit more distance for 2021 to try and keep up with DJ and the likes of Bryson and Cameron Champ. And we've already seen this because he's currently ranked second in driving distance at 321 yards. The likelihood is he's gone for more of a stiffer shaft just to keep up with his swing speed and maybe just keep up with his misses that are left and right. He is missing the fairway a little bit. If you saw him at Torrey Pines, he had misses both right and left, so maybe he needs to fine tune this a little bit more, but luckily enough, he's got one of the best drivers for 2021 to keep him at bay. Let's get on to metal woods. So this year, Rory has gone for a 3 and a 5 wood to go in the bag. You've got the Sim 2 3 wood and the Sim 2 5 wood, so no surprises there. Comparing it to last year, it is more or less exactly the same. He has bent down both the 3 and the 5 wood, so instead of being 15 and 19 degrees, it's a little bit stronger just to get a little bit extra distance. Those pros are lucky enough so they can do that and not get any sort of dispersion errors or anything like that. McIlroy hits it like a bullet with these, and these go, especially his 3 wood, this goes well over 300 yards. So not too surprising that he strengthened it a little bit. Shafts are exactly the same as well. He's got a Mitsubishi Tensei white in both, but with the 5 wood, he's got it slightly heavier. So you can just see here his exceptional swing speed is really being showcased with his driver and his metal woods, because these shafts are not to be like glazed over. These are proper heavy shafts, and for a man that is obviously not the tallest, he is under 5'10", he is still quite stocky, but he hits it an absolute bomb. So it's really interesting to see the setup that he's got here and how it will change over the year in comparison to what courses he's going to play, because we've got this information from TaylorMade, thank you for giving it to us, but this is just for the current setup that he's had at Torrey Pines and other courses that he's played so far in 2021. When he probably goes over to the English stretch, I reckon this will change. Let's jump on to driving irons and just his main iron range. So this is probably the biggest change in comparison to last year. If you guys aren't familiar with any of the releases that came out last year, TaylorMade released a whole bunch of amazing irons, and one of them, and probably the scariest of the lot, were the P7 MBs, the muscleback irons in the P7 range. These are smooth as butter and they are absolutely impossible to hit for us mere mortals. But for Rory McIlroy, he's put the P7 MBs in the bag for 4-to pitching wedge. So he's pretty much trusting his ball striking for every single, from the long irons to the short irons. Short irons I can understand, but I would absolutely hate to hit the P7 MB4 iron. I'd be absolutely terrified. What did he have last year? Well, we had a little bit different of a setup last year because these weren't actually out. He had the P730s last year in 5-to pitching wedge, which are, to be honest, they're quite similar to the P7 MBs. They are very, very small muscleback irons, but just a little bit different. And then he also had the P750s in the 3-to-4 irons. So he did have that progressional approach, and we may see that this year. As I said, this is from 4-to pitching wedge that he's got the P7 MBs. I wouldn't be surprised if when he comes to linked courses, he would introduce a P790 2 or 3 iron. He did that last year as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if when he needs a fairway finder, something that goes about 280 yards and that like a low bullet, I would expect a P790 or maybe even one of the new TaylorMade driving irons to go in his bag. What shafts does he have? Well, this is quite interesting. So he's got the Project X in all of his irons. So this is irons and wedges as well. But there's a slight difference here, and you actually see this quite a lot in professionals' bags. So he's got Project X 7.0 shafts in his irons, and that is from 4 to 9 iron. If you don't know what Project X is, it gradually goes up in terms of stiffness. So 7.0 is stiff, it's proper hard to hit. So again, show how fast his swing speed is. But when we go onto the pitching wedges and his wedges, the shaft flex changes slightly. It goes from 7.0 to 6.5. This happens actually quite a lot in professionals' bags. They do decrease their stiffness in the wedges just to get that smoother swing. I'm not too surprised by it, but it's interesting to see Rory do that as well. And maybe he changed that in comparison to a few years back when he was struggling with his wedge game. Now let's go on to wedges. So the wedges this year, there isn't actually any difference in comparison to last year. He's got the TaylorMade MG2 in 52, 56 and 60 degree. He's got that in the Project X rifle 6.5 shaft. Not really surprising, as this is the TaylorMade's current release and the newest wedges he can have. There is a Tiger Woods version of this MG2 wedge, but to be honest, I wouldn't expect any professionals to put that in their bag, because that's more of Tiger's club that we can try out and see how we get on with it. So pretty standard there, and nothing that I'd really expect any different. Now let's go on to the moneymaker and his putter. Now Rory McIlroy has the TaylorMade Spider X Copper in 34.25 inches. This is something that he's had in his bag for quite a while. You saw in previous years when he was toying about with Scotty Camerons and things, he changed a few times when he had those kind of yips and putting woes right when he signed with Nike. He's changed that now. He is a pretty decent putter, still got some improvement there to make, but he's been pretty steady with this TaylorMade Spider X Copper. Will this change this year with any new releases? Who knows, we'll have to wait and see. But it seems that he does like this putter. How's it different to 2020? It's not, it's the same as the putter that he used that year, and unless there are any new TaylorMade releases, I don't expect anything to change. What ball does McIlroy use? Let's go to that as well. McIlroy uses the brand new 2021 TaylorMade TP5X golf ball, so for lower spin. Not too surprising, and I'll be interested to see what the new TP5X and TP5 compares to the 2020 TP5, as they were such successful golf balls. So I can't wait till we can get our hands on it, you guys can get your hands on it, and just see how we all get on. So we've talked about what Rory has in his bag for this year. How do we think he's going to get on? How do we think he's going to fare? Rory is one of the most consistent golfers in 2020, but he didn't secure any dubs. He didn't get any wins at all, didn't lift any silverware, which was actually pretty disappointing for that season. He should have done a lot better, but for the criticism that he gets, he's still an exceptional golfer, and he's still in the top 10 in the world by some distance. I think if Rory really fine-tunes some things of his game, he's really going for distance this year, but I think he needs to fine-tune his short game and just eliminate those misses of when he's going right and left as well. We saw that at Torrey Pines, and then he could definitely be in to get some silverware in 2021. He needs to sort out his scoring average for the weekend. It dips a lot, and is this mental? I think it probably is, but we'll see how he gets on this year. I think he could be due a major, especially at the Masters, so keep your eyes peeled on Augusta. Maybe we'll see Rory putting on that green jacket come the end of Sunday. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's really interesting to see what Rory McIlroy, what one of the best players in the world has in his bag in comparison to what us amateurs have. So I have the Sim 2 and the Sim 2 3-wood in the bag, but completely different shafts. And I think I've got a pretty decent swing speed. So it shows how top class Rory is and how consistent he is able to swing at 110%. If you guys enjoyed this video today, make sure you leave a like down below. And who do you guys want to see next in the What's in the Bag? We've got a few lined up, but if you want to see some ones that maybe aren't the most normal, such as, I don't know, we've got a VJ Singh or someone like that, let me know down in the comments, and we'll be sure to have a look at it, do a deep dive into their equipment, and let you guys know what's in their bag for this year. If you guys are new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below to keep up to date with all our What's in the Bag, equipment news, challenges, and much, much more. I hope we're keeping you happy during lockdown. It's a tough time for all of us, but we're releasing video after video to help you guys just keep a little bit more entertained during lockdown, and hopefully when golf courses open soon, we'll be right at it with even more videos to come. I'll see you guys at the next video.